Hey everybody, this is Julian from RawPhysique again. Today I decided to do a quick video on protein intake. Why we need protein and how much we should ingest in our daily diet. And what actually happens when we take in the protein. This is very important for natural bodybuilder. When you're bodybuilding naturally, you have to make sure everything is on point if you're trying to make any gains at all. So making sure your protein is on point is very important. If you're on steroids, doesn't really matter too much. Now, before everyone starts freaking out and blowing everything up in my comments, there will be the one steroid guy like, fuck you. I've been in the gym for 15 years. My dad was a personal trainer. My brother worked in the gym. And I've seen countless people on steroids. A lot of them had no fucking idea what they were doing. And I guess they didn't make gains as well as they thought they were, so they started taking steroids. These people would eat fucking Doritos, Coca-Cola, shit food, and their gains surpassed mine. I am not hating on steroids at all. I'm just saying that it's very important if you're natural to make sure you keep everything in check. And I've even thought about steroids before, but I decided against it because of the health risks involved. So back to protein intake. If you're on steroids, you don't need to watch this video. If you're not on steroids, you should probably watch it. First off, the body doesn't have a large storage of protein like it does fats and carbs. So when we eat the protein, the body pretty much starts using it as it's digesting. It breaks the proteins down into amino acids, and from there it could be turned into a body of protein to be used or transformed. The body could turn the protein, glucose, to be used as energy, or turn it into fat and store it as fat. To be technical, which I try not to be, just for the case of making longer videos than I would like. If the video looks any different, my damn camera fell. I might put a blooper in there. So the liver strips off the nitrogen, which could then incorporate it into DNA or RNA or non-essential amino acid. Excess nitrogen comes out through your piss. It could smell like ammonia, which has never happened to me, and I've power lifted and been eating 300 grams of protein a day in my past. I don't eat that much anymore because to me and the research that I look into and do, it's pretty much a waste if you exceed a certain amount of protein per your body weight. High protein intake could also require you to have a lot of water. Your body uses a lot of fluid to turn those proteins into either amino acids or fats or energy. So that's why you see these guys walking around the gym with a big gallon jug of water, because they're probably taking in a ton of protein and they're at least trying to be healthy and efficient. So how much protein do we actually need? First of all, the body doesn't just use protein to rebuild our muscles. It uses it for a lot of different things. The recommended allowance for protein for an adult over 18 is 0.36 grams per pound of body weight. Let me do the math. Hey Siri, 150 times 0.36. So if you weigh 150 pounds, it's just telling you to eat 54 grams of protein. Let me try another one. Hey Siri, 200 times 0.36. If you weigh 200 pounds, it's telling you to eat at least 72 grams of protein a day. This is not for people who are exercising or doing anything. These are for people sitting in their office, driving their cars, going to work. A work that they're not actually having an elevated heartbeat or having a lot of physical stress on them. Just a lazy job. For ages 4 years old to 13 years old, they say to eat at least 0.43 grams of protein per pound. 14 years old to 18 years old, they say 0.39 protein per pound. If you are exercising though, or working out, or you're in sports or anything like that, you need to eat more protein than what the recommended allowance is. Now to throw some gasoline on a fire, let's talk about how much protein we should take. When I first started working out, it was discussed to take 2 grams of protein per pound of your own body weight. So if you weighed 200 pounds, you took 400 grams of protein. I tried doing this, and I did for a little while. I weighed 230 pounds, and I was taking around 400 grams of protein a day. It is expensive, and it was way too much. If you're trying to cut or anything at all, that is too much protein. You heard what happens to the excess. Your piss smells like ammonia. The extra cost, you could be putting it into whatever the hell you want, opposed to just shitting and pissing out all the protein you're spending money on. Current studies have shown that eating 1.2 grams of protein per body weight or 0.8 grams of protein per body weight is sufficient for bodybuilding and athletes. If you're eating a caloric surplus, you could get away with 0.8 grams of protein per body weight because your body isn't going to break down proteins in your muscle or your bone in order to supply your muscles with the proteins that they need to rebuild after a workout. If you're in a caloric deficit and you're on a cut or something, or just trying to look good, I would suggest eating 1.2 grams of protein per pound of body weight so your body doesn't run to your muscles or your bones, break down, and then try to rebuild your muscle or bone. Because your body needs protein in order to rebuild your muscles. And if you're not taking enough in, it will start cannibalizing itself. And at that point, screw gains. Your body is literally just taking it from here, putting it here, taking it from here, putting it here. So when you're on a cut, you want that 1.2 grams at least flowing through your blood in your stomach and your intestine. So when your body is looking for protein, it could snap it up and go ahead and use it properly. But if you're on a bulk, then you could eat 0.8 grams and you're fine. This is a hotly debated subject, but I'm using current studies and amounts of protein that other natural bodybuilders like myself use. If you're eating a lot of protein and you're eating, 2 grams of protein per body weight, and you sit there and your piss smells like ammonia, you could probably cut back a little. And another fun fact, if you eat a shit ton of protein in your stomach, your body has a defensive mechanism that will slowly release the food you just ate into your intestines to protect your body from ammonia overload. That's why sometimes if you eat a ton of protein, some people can feel nauseated. And then you definitely want to still take in a lot of liquids. Getting dehydrated is common if you're not taking in a lot of liquids and you're taking in a lot of protein. If you're new to the whole protein intake and you're sitting there upping your protein or doubling your protein, then you might start getting dehydrated. So you need to up your liquid intake. Drink a lot of water because your body uses the fluids to break down the amino acids and reroute them wherever it wants or wherever it's needed. There's also some studies on a lot of protein intake before hitting the gym or the field or running, whatever you're doing. And the participants that ate a lot of protein an hour before the workout, it was more difficult for them to do the exercises. This has to do with the body being stripped of water trying to digest the protein. And this is even if you're drinking water with the protein. If you're going to have some protein before a workout, I would suggest something like 20 grams of protein and an apple. And that'll give your body protein during the workout and carbohydrates for energy. And I would do this somewhere between 30 minutes to an hour before the workout. Some people might work better not even eating before the workout, but this is what I do and it works for me and it's worked for a lot of other people. But you have to incorporate those carbohydrates in as well because you will have less energy and just not a good workout or not as good of a workout as you would if you had carbs in your system opposed to just protein. Some powerlifters limit their carbohydrates because the energy storage in their muscles, they're just pumping out 1 or 2 reps several times throughout their workout. Most other people are doing 8 to 12 reps or sets of 5, so you need that excess energy storage in your muscles, which mainly comes from carbohydrates. So try to eat high fiber carbs. That's healthy for you when you're eating your protein. Some good sources of protein are just any meat. I'll drink milk for a little bit of protein. Nuts and seeds are high in protein and carbohydrates. One of the healthiest and cheapest meats to eat to save you money, it doesn't have that much fat in it, is chicken. Chicken breast has a higher concentration of protein than dark meat chicken, but either one is good. So watch your protein intake, know if you're in a caloric deficit or if you're on some type of a bulk. I tried to make this video fast. I don't think it is gonna end up being short at this point. So start counting those calories. Use an app on your phone if you have it. I use MyFitnessPal because the database is huge and when you type it in your calorie counter, It'll show you how much protein and carbs something has, which is very useful if you're trying to save a lot of time. If you're on the go like me, you can just scan the item, it tells you how much protein and carbs, fats are in it, if it fits your macros. So that's a good piece of software to have if you're trying to track your calories and your protein. So start tracking yours. If you have any questions, let me know. I know some people are different. Some people might make gains not eating that much protein or eating a ton of protein, but I'm just going by the studies and the articles and my own experience. I will do a video on carbohydrates soon. If you like the video, like it. If you want to subscribe, subscribe. You could check out a whole plethora of other videos. And if you have any comments or questions, feel free to post down below. Alright guys, this is Julian from RawPhysique, and peace.